Hi everybody, my name is Rob Dykema and we're here at Sound Off Signal, a leading manufacturer of law enforcement equipment based in Hudsonville, Michigan in the USA, where our primary focus is protecting those who serve. So let's take a closer look at the new nERGY series sirens from Sound Off. Got a sampling of them on the table in front of me, and I can go through them individually for you and show you the new features and functions that these controllers have to offer. The nERGY series is a replacement for the 300 series that was available from Sound Off for the last 5 or 6 years, and we've improved on them and used the features that made them as popular as they are in the industry. These are made here in Hudsonville at the factory, Sound Off, and I'm excited to show them to you. So let's start here. We look to my right, the handheld controller. You guys are familiar with it. This is the 385 of the past. Next to that is the new 400 series remote. You can see the face there. It's just a remote face. To my left here, if you've got the new console mount. This is the 400 series console, and then another variety of the console mount, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. I want to start with the control box that's used for both the remote faceplate and the handheld controller, and that's this right here. I'm going to hold it up so you can see the size. It's extremely small, which is nice. Obviously there's a lot of equipment going into these patrol cars nowadays, and this will free up some area, whether it be in the console or in the trunk of the particular vehicle. Here's where all your connections are made. All the harnesses plug in here, some of your controls, your speakers. Everything's done on one side of the unit so that it's easily accessible and can be hidden nicely. It's got a couple of tabs here which open up so you can see the internal components of the control box. You can see the fuses are replaceable, the rest of the components on the board there, and then this here is the amplifier. All of the 400 series nERGY controllers have the ability of doing either the single amplifier or 2 amplifiers, allowing you to have either 100 or 200 watts and 1 speaker or 2 speakers. Now, if you want to use 2 speakers, obviously you have to have the 200 watt version, but if you do have the 200 watts, this controller does allow you the capability of running 2 speakers at the same time with separate tones, dual tone capability, which allows you to run a wail out of one speaker, a yelp out of another speaker, and it actually sounds as if 2 vehicles are approaching the scene or trying to clear traffic, which is excellent for officer safety. Obviously the louder the better, just like in that lighting, the brighter the better. Let's take a look at the handheld portion of this controller here. You can see it's just like the 385 of years past. It's been extremely popular because you don't sacrifice any of your features for a handheld controller. You can see it fits very nicely in your hand, and the buttons are laid out in such a way that they're easy to find whether you're looking at them or not. Code 3 is the far right hand side here, so you can immediately go to full-on lights and sirens in case of an emergency. If you want just the siren control, it's over here at the far left. It's still easy to reach. And then down here it gives you 6 programmable buttons. It's excellent for a handheld controller to have 6 full-feature programmable buttons, including arrow on one button. And here you have an arrow diagnostic indicator too, so you can see what your arrow is doing, all on this handheld controller. If you want the air horn or the manual, they're down here, also easy to find. Once you use this for a short period of time, be very familiar with where the buttons are located. It makes it very, very safe for the officer in the vehicle. And your PA button, as you can see here, located on the side. Really, really impressive controller. There's a magnet in the back which holds it into a holster very securely, so you don't have to be fumbling around looking for it, but it is easily accessible and ready for use when you need it. We'll move on to the remote. This is the 400 series remote, nERGY series. Obviously you can see it's got the name down here in the corner. It's got the 4 push buttons, just like the 380R of the past, and then the 8 programmable buttons, of which 1 button will control all the features and functions of your arrow, so you don't tie up the use of more than 1 button. Slide switch, 3 position down here. You've got radio rebroadcast, horn button, and your manual button as well. All easy to find, large buttons, and laid out very, very nicely on that remote face. So now let's move over to something that's new to Sound Off, and that is the console mount controllers. This one here, I have the top popped. This is the 481 RSP, and you can see the components inside this, easy to maintain. If you have issues, it's easy to get access to the fuses and the components inside the controller. That pops closed. And this is new, like I said, to sound off in that it's a mimic of the 400 series remote that we just talked about. You've got your 4 buttons for your siren tones and your 8 programmable buttons here for all the other features and functions, and your 3-position slide switch down here. This is brand new, and it's an exciting product to be able to offer these buttons just like we had in the previous remote version, because it became very popular in the industry. This is the console mount. It is available in 100 or 200 watt in single or dual tone. And lastly, I'll move over here to the 480 series CSR. This is again another console mount. You can see fits nicely inside the console there. And the difference between this one and the one we previously looked at is the control knob here. Still extremely popular in the industry, easy to find. An officer can find this with his hand without looking down and fumbling for buttons. Turns that to his siren tone, and then you've got this 3-position slide switch over here to control the rest of your lighting. On all of these controllers, the buttons can be programmed to the slide switch if need be, and like all the other controllers, one button can control your arrow, so you free up the rest of these buttons for whatever equipment you'd like to use them for. So there you have it, the full lineup of nERGY sirens from Sound Off Signal. There we have another great product from Sound Off Signal. You can find out more details at soundoffsignal.com or give us a call anytime. We appreciate you watching.